Jessica Blaylock joins us. She is the Florida Panthers studio host for Scripps Sports, and normally I would say like a little joke, a little icebreaker to have some fun here. And what I was going to say is she had a better summer than anybody in this studio and in that studio over there, but now I can't even do it. I can't do it because the Florida Panthers captain is hurt.
The summer's over, so it's okay.
Well.
It didn't ruin the summer, right, Jess? Like your amazing summer is still intact. Like all the amazing photos that we were following on Instagram, like that all still happened. You're still
yes, correct. An amazing summer is still intact. However, my mood for the time to come is obviously not nearly at the excitement level that it was 48 hours ago because, like we heard Roy mention, just the devastating news about the injury to Aleksander Barkov, who currently is in surgery as we speak. And we should be getting a statement from the team later on this afternoon, giving us more information on the extent of the injury and the time frame that we can expect the captain to be out. And Paul Maurice, we just spoke to him less than an hour ago after the morning session for the Florida Panthers, and he said that they are going to be very transparent when it does come to this injury. It is a knee injury. But again, the captain currently in surgery as we speak, and we'll have more information later on this afternoon as to the extent and the time frame, but it certainly does not look good.
I can't do this, man. I'm sorry. How did your summer go, Jessica? How was the summer?
Holy cow.
The summer was amazing. I had my first off season in probably 10 to 15 years. So I traveled, I read books, I went to the movies, I rode my bike, I got back in the gym, spent time with my dogs, of course. That was the top priority. So yes, summer was amazing. And feel fully rested and ready to get back to Florida Panthers hockey for sure.
So the reason that you had a full summer, just to give everybody a glimpse into the Bllelock magistry, is that you are working full-time hockey now. You're no longer doing baseball, which
Correct.
was a big part of your life. So I have a question for you kind of on that regard, because you've covered baseball, you've covered basketball, you've covered a lot of sports in your professional life. And my question is, which athletes are the most fun to be around, and why are they hockey players?
So what's funny is I would actually say it is a tie between hockey and baseball, because the biggest thing with baseball is the pure amount of time that you spend in the clubhouse, and especially the fact that I was on the road. So it wasn't just the clubhouse. It was the team playing. It was getting to the hotel collectively at sometimes 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Whereas I have been with some of these hockey players for now 11 years, in particular, Aleksander Barkov, Aaron Ekblad. And so it's so different in the sense that obviously the way we get media for hockey is a lot more structured, but the time we spend in the clubhouse is so much more extensive. And there's a lot more downtime to just have like a regular conversation about, hey, how's your family? Who did you draft for fantasy football this year? And so on and so forth. So it's a different vibe for sure between the two, but I'm lucky in the sense that like the Panthers at this point, so many of them feel like my little brothers or my children, to be honest.
Oh, come on, Jessica.
Guys, I'm like 20 years older than Mackie Samoskevich. Like there is a large age gap now between me and the players. But yeah, so I think for baseball, there was a lot more downtime to have just like regular life conversations versus it's a formal interview, if that makes sense.
All right, Jess, I know none of us want to talk about it, but let's get back to the news here. Talk me off the ledge.
Oh,
tell me why.
The Gators.
We'll get to that. Tell me why.
No, we will not.
Tell me. What ledge do you want me to
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple ledges. The Dolphins, the Gators, the Barkov.
All right, pick a ledge.
Okay, we're going to go with the Barkov ledge. So, Jess, tell me why. I started the show today saying that as a fan, it feels like the season is over before it even starts when you lose a guy like Aleksander Barkov. Convince me that this is not true and the Panthers can still win a Stanley Cup and three-peat without Aleksander Barkov.
Yeah, no, I feel your pain. And honestly, it's a gut punch. Like there's just no getting around it. It's an absolute gut punch to lose a player like Aleksander Barkov, not just because of what he does out on the ice and really impacting every aspect of the game, right? Even strength, special teams, defensively. I mean, I think he's hands down the best two-way forward in the league, and he's got a couple of Selkies to prove it. And it absolutely like breaks my heart that he's most likely going to miss the Olympics. That to me is the most devastating thing of all of it, because he is the face of Finnish hockey, and you wait so long for this opportunity to represent your country. Like, that to me is just the part that absolutely is gut-wrenching. Now, me trying to put a positive spin on it, on why I think this team is built to be able to overcome a devastating injury, even to a player of Barkov's caliber. You look at the past couple seasons, there are lengthy stretches that they've had to play without an Aaron Ekblad, without a Matthew Tkachuk, without an Aleksander Barkov. There have been stretches where they have had to be with multiple elite players for a lengthy amount of time. And what have we seen from this team? Everybody finds a way to step up. Whether it's Anton Lundell, who is going to obviously shoulder a huge amount of responsibility this year, you got to assume that he's going to be your top line center at this point. Whether it's, to me, having a guy like Brad Marchand in your dressing room now, who wore the C for the Boston Bruins for so many years, right? And his ability to be a vocal leader. The fact that you have a guy like Sam Reinhart, who finished second in the Selke voting, who is like Barkov, that defensive-minded two-way forward. That you have a Sam Bennett that's an identity player, that you have a Carter Verhaeghe who is able to come up with so many clutch goals at key moments. The one good thing about this team, Bill Zito has done a tremendous job building depth. You still have so many talented elite players in that dressing room. The fact that this team finds a way time and time again, no matter what they are up against, to come through, to get the job done. The fact that Paul Maurice has had in past seasons to be creative with his line combinations. And you have, an Anton Lundell who's played with Eetu Luostarinen and Sam Reinhart, if you make that a line again. The fact that you have a Verhaeghe who has played on that top line, who has also played alongside Bennett on that second line. The fact that Luostarinen and Jesper Boquist, there's several players who can shift from playing the wing to being a center. You have so many players that you have tremendous depth with, and you have so many players that you have position flexibility with, that I do think the Panthers are one of the few teams in the league that could have this devastating of an injury and find a way. You're not going to replace Barkov. You're not going to replace him in any way, shape, or form. But I think with what the Panthers have, they're at least going to be able to soften the blow of everything you lose in losing the captain for an extended period of time.
I feel better now.
Okay.
I hope you do.
I do, Jess. I feel better now. Yeah.
I still feel like crap.
All right. So
Sorry,
as you were saying,
I appreciate the effort.
As you were saying, Jessica, I mean, the Panthers do have a top 5 in the Selke Trophy candidates in Sam Reinhart. They also have Evan Rodrigues.
Yeah.
And he's plug and play. And about a month ago, we were all wondering if he was going to get traded if Matthew Tkachuk came back early. Well, now he's more important than ever. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, Paul Maurice has referred to him as his Swiss Army knife. You've played Evan Rodrigues on the top line. You've played Evan Rodrigues on your fourth line. He has been that one guy that when you need to plug a hole, you've been able to plug that hole with him. So I think his role becomes even that much more important. He becomes even that much more significant of a player in your lineup, because he is probably going to be one of those guys that does have to do some moving around while the Panthers figure out what their new lines are going to look like without Barkov and without Tkachuk and without Tomas Nosek to start the season. So no doubt about it, Evan Rodrigues is going to be a key component.
We saw Jeff Petry yesterday, and he's basically the replacement for Nate Schmidt. What gauge do you have on him?
Well, he's obviously a veteran. He's got a ton of experience. I think he's a guy that plays a physical brand of hockey. So I think he's a guy that's going to fit into the Panthers system pretty easily. I mean, I think there's always, when somebody comes in, there's that period of adjustment where you're kind of trying to balance your skill set with what's being asked of you and the system that you're trying to learn how to play. But again, he's one of those players that's going to provide depth for the Blue Liners, because obviously you've got your top two pairings set, right? We know that Ekblad and Forsling are going to play together. We know that Seth Jones and Nico Mikkola are most likely going to play together. So now you've got some options between Uvis Balinskis and Jeff Petry to pair with Dmitry Kulikov.
I want to move off the Panthers for a bit, Jessica, because it's a very dark cloud over the show at the moment. And something else hockey-wise caught my eye this week, and I wanted to get your take on it. It's regarding Alex Ovechkin, who we all love, right? We're all
sure, yeah. I like him better than the other guy, the guy who plays in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Who's going to be a Panther?
I always had to make it about
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa.
Not in front of Jess, Roy.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry, not very gentlemanly.
Right out in front of
I
Jess.
think
I
Martian in a
apologize.
Panthers uniform is
Trust
weird.
me, I've
Imagine
covered
that.
hockey for a decade. There is no combination of words that you could use that I've either never heard before or that I'm going to be offended by.
Yeah, well, he brought up a red button issue with me, so yeah, yes.
All right. So getting back on topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
So TSN put out their list of their top 50 players yesterday or today, which is fine, whatever. Ovechkin is number 49 on that list. And then earlier this week, Brian Hayes, who's a TSN host up in Canada, he was on with Jay Onray, and he said he doesn't even think Ovechkin is in the top 50 of the NHL players anymore. That
Wow.
kind of blew my mind, because this guy has been like, he's Alex Ovechkin. He scores 1 million goals. He changes the game. Everybody's watching him. He's very... I don't know. He's just really good. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. Like, does that surprise you, Jess, as much as it surprises me that he may not be a top 50 player in the NHL anymore?
It really does surprise me, because all we talked about this season was how unbelievable it was that Alex Ovechkin broke a record that was previously held by the Great One.
Right.
And how impossible everybody felt like that was going to be for this record to be broken. So that's point number one. Point number two, his longevity in the league. And he is not just a skill player. Like, Alex Ovechkin has consistently stayed in the lineup throughout the years, despite the fact that he does play like a pretty solid physical brand of hockey. So I think just the longevity as well, considering his style of play, the consistency that he has given the Washington Capitals throughout the years, yeah, I find that to be a little bit surprising, especially with what Ovi accomplished this season. And how many times do we talk about it? Alex Ovechkin, that one-timer on the power play, you know it's coming and you still can never stop it. Like, this guy has just an incredible shot, an incredible skill set. So I find that to be a little bit surprising.
He broke his leg last year. He came back in like 3 days.
Right.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right. And he was averaging, when he got hurt, he was averaging a little over a point a game, which is just impressive at his age, right? Because everybody's like, oh, is Ovi starting to slow down a little? Is he starting to kind of feel his age a little bit? No, not at all. His production this season was incredible, you know? So, and then you look at the points that he put up, factoring in that he did miss a stretch of games. So no, I think Alex Ovechkin still continues to impress after all this time.
The Athletic in their player tiers have Ovi in 5B, which is the support tier in between Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Morgan Riley. That seems a little bit crazy to me coming off a record-breaking season. All right, Jess. Roy, let me ask you another question, so I'm going to use this opportunity
I
and
swear
take
to
it.
God, if
what
you
the
are
fuck
going to
are we going to
mention
do about
Sidney
the Gators?
Crosby,
What are we going to do about
the
the Gators,
Gators?
Jess? What are we going to do?
The Gators?
What are we going to do?
It's the hockey show.
What are we going to
Do
do?
they have a hockey team in Gainesville?
Yes,
club
but I'm
hockey
talking
team.
about the football team. What the
club
fuck are we
team.
going to do?
They had a club team.
Yeah,
Miami kicked their ass.
It is, you know, and it's not necessarily our defense that is problematic. It's the fact that our offense cannot consistently stay on the field and put up points. And when you've got a solid defense, but you're constantly putting them back out on the field and asking them to make a stop, it's just not a great recipe for success, right? And honestly, you know what they say, in all kinds of weather, we all stick together for FLORIDA. So I am gonna rep my alma mater through and through. I bleed orange and blue, but we are gonna continue to be in for a long year when it comes to Gator football, because we still got to play Florida State, who looks legit this season. We've still got to play Georgia, who we know what they've
Texas,
done. Ole Miss. I mean, Texas struggled out the gate, but that's still going to be a tough game. Just to quote Samuel L. Jackson from Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Okay, all right, forget about the game. Fire Billy Napier. All right, so
Fire Billy Napier.
Let's talk about since we got this injury situation with Florida, let's talk about the division at large. Do you see any changes happening in the top three and potentially any wild card implications as compared to last season?
I still think the powerhouses are going to be the powerhouses, and I still believe that about Florida. I still think that the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to be those other teams that are right there. Super intrigued with the Leafs, especially with Marner going to Vegas, who I think is actually going to crush it in Vegas. So I'm always fascinated by the Leafs just because of their history, being such a good regular season team and then not being able to get it done in the postseason. You know, Tampa, I love what that rivalry has turned into and how much Florida and Tampa just absolutely hate each other. Buffalo, I'm not going to believe in until they actually give us a reason to believe. Boston, I'm intrigued by, because obviously they made so many changes last year and sold off so many players at the deadline. But yeah, I think when it comes to the division, you're going to see the usual suspects. You know, Montreal, obviously making it to the playoffs last year, Ottawa as well. Do they just get that much stronger? Montreal, especially having so many good young players. So the Atlantic Division it's just brutal. Every single year, it's just brutal, continues to get better and better. So we'll see what happens. You know, Detroit, they've had several disappointing years. Do they finally make a comeback this year? So there's a lot of intriguing storylines around the Atlantic Division for sure.
Now, before we let you go, Jess, I wanted to ask you about something with your Sam Jackson line. Kind of made me think of something that we were talking about yesterday when we were all hanging out at the Panthers practice. We're getting into some pop culture-y topics, you know, talked a little bit about the Mighty Ducks and some things like that from our childhood. So what sports movies or TV shows were the most significant to you, Jess, that helped shape your career as a sports journalist? When you think back, are we talking Mighty Ducks? Are we talking Air Bud?
Air Bud?
I think I'm a little
Jess
too
is a
old
dog
for
person.
Air Bud came out when I was like a senior in college.
Is it that?
So I don't know if I was necessarily watching Air Bud.
I thought it came out when we were kids.
Did it?
I thought it. No, I gotta look it up.
Air Bud came out in 1997, so it beat me to the world. But
okay, so I was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're in high school.
I'm sorry, Air Bud beat you into the world?
Yeah, I was born in 99.
What year were
I was born in 99.
Yeah. Huh.
Listen, like we already sound old, but that doesn't help.
Oh
Thanks,
my
Ethan.
gosh.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So movies that defined my childhood from a sports perspective. Honestly, the Mighty Ducks. I did not grow up with hockey. So everything that I knew about hockey, I knew from watching the Mighty Ducks. And I am still personally waiting for some team in the league to perform the flying V in a game. Like, that's all I want to see. That's all I want to see.
But Iceland already debugged it. Like Wolf the Dentist Stanson showed us how to beat the Flying V.
No, we're not debunking anything. We are not debunking anything. I just want to see the Flying V executed in an NHL game. Baseball, Sandlot. I mean, right? Like Sandlot was every kid's kind of dream, that backyard baseball. What would you do if you really lost that ball over the fence? And like
property
all
of the beast
that they had to come up with to try and get it back, going to the pool every day in the summer with your friends. Like, and honestly, okay, I know this isn't technically like a sports movie, but to me, it's one of the greatest sports scenes from a movie, The Naked Gun. Enrico Palazzo singing the national anthem.
In the home of the free.
a bunch of bombs in the air. Like, I mean,
that
honestly,
thing over there.
oh my gosh, the game, the Angels game, in I think it was the Angels, right? In Naked Gun, like that whole sequence. I must kill the queen, like that. To me,
Reggie Jackson.
one of my favorite sports scenes, and like how far ahead of its time it was. The fact that they had like 15 people in the booth. Because how often now do we see analyst desks where there's like 8 people?
Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to go watch that. It's been a while.
Those for me are probably like the Mighty Ducks taught me everything I knew about hockey. The Sandlot was kind of my go-to baseball movie, and then the baseball game from Naked Gun to me is like one of the most iconic sports scenes from any movie of all time.
And of course, he who shall not be named, rolling down the stairs in that wheelchair and then flipping up like 35 feet in the air and then falling to the ground. Yeah, that was a great ending to that movie. Jessica Blaylock is the Florida Panthers studio host for Scripps Sports. She is going to smile while hiding her tears. We will see you on Monday when the Florida Panthers play the Carolina Hurricanes for their first home game of this preseason. Thank you for joining us, Jessica.
I appreciate the time. And yeah, you nailed it, Roy. I'm going to go cry in private now.
It's like before the Panthers were good. It's just what we did all the time.
Yeah, 12 years ago.
It wasn't that long ago. Yeah. Jessica, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Jess.
Jessica.
You're the best.
Right,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Shut up!